Hey man, it's your boy, Mr. V, otherwise known as V Class. Let's get it, man. Thank you very much for tuning into my YouTube channel. Thank you for passing by, for dropping by. I hope you're gonna be part of the family. While we're on that, man, subscribe, please. It's all free. Just hit the notification bell so that you may be notified. Hit a like if you like the content. Share with your brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, everybody, man. We all family up in here. Hey, we all family. You're all welcome. Please stay. Be part of it. But anyway, let's get this thing going. Listen, it's been a hectic week for me. Hectic good, but also obviously with a couple of bad news here and there, but we keep it moving, Firstly, I'd just like to start by saying condolences to the family of DJ Dimples. We know that he passed on, I think it was yesterday, but I had the news yesterday on Sunday. So, we really pass our condolences. We know that this thing has been happening for a bit now, especially with our legends, man. I mean, Dimples has been in it for a minute, not so long ago now, it was Rick, who also has the legendary status. Before that, it was, and I'm just talking on the passing side of things, right? Before that, we had Cooley Roberts passing on. Before that, we had, what's the gentleman's name now? I did a video on him the other time about his passing. I want to say Nkushing, but that's Patrick Shy. Yes, Patrick Shy also passed on, and all of this is happening in this year, man. We're only in March. We're only starting March now. And already we've lost about 4 legends of the game, of the entertainment industry as a whole in South Africa. That's unheard of. Really, it's unheard of. We really have to go down on our knees and pray. But these are things that we live with, right? People pass on every day, and we just have to pay our respects. And we say shout out to all of those who have passed. Whatever that you've contributed into the industry, it is really appreciated. We may have not appreciated you guys while you could still smell the roses, but we do appreciate it. Anyway, there's mainly 2 things I wanted to speak about, right? It was obviously that I just spoke about, but also the conflicts in Russia and Ukraine, in the Russia and Ukraine. I've heard a lot of people talking about this, that, and the other. I've heard people saying, okay, South Africa, you have to say something, you have to choose a side, or whatever the case, But for me, I still stand on the side of us sitting this one out. And a couple of reasons, really. But before I get to my reasons, I know that former President Jacob Zuma did mention something about Ukraine and Russia starting to talk, having conversations, because the whole thing is centered around, I think it's NATO that has its army close to the Russian borders, and they don't want that, and they've said that they don't want that. That was the agreement between Ukraine and them, and it sounds like Ukraine has not been doing that, or has not been keeping up with the deal that was agreed on whenever. But for me, there were a couple of things in the entire setup that I felt they were uncomfortable for me, but also they contributed in me saying that as Africa, we have to sit this one out, First off, I'm watching my TV the one time, and I see there's gang people on the border, right? But only white people are being allowed to go through, and the Ukrainian people, right? They're being allowed to get out of the border, when guys from the Middle East are not allowed to cross the border to go. And these are people who just came there either for work purposes or for study purposes, and you're not allowed to go. In fact, it went to an extent of the one guy even saying, it's an African, I think it's a Ghanaian guy or Nigerian, one of the West African, is it West? Yes, West African countries. He said, in fact, I was told that I have to go back, pick up a gun and fight for Ukraine. I'm like, what the fricadelle? I mean, hey, I'm from Africa, man. I'm not fighting for no war that I don't know anything about. I am not doing that. I definitely am not. But look, on a serious note though, for me, it just spoke to how classed Africans are. Because no matter how much money you may have, you're still African. You know, you're still going to be seen as that African dude, that black guy who, you know, everything has to be last for you. And that's that's kind of painful, you know, to think that we may be moving 5 steps ahead and another 6 backwards. When you think, the minute you think that we may be in the same platform, you discover that we're not. You know, you discover that actually we on the same train, but we definitely sitting, one is this side and the other one is that side, and we're not speaking the same language, right? That went on, and I was bitterly disappointed when I saw the breakdown of Trevor Noah. He did it beautifully. He did it nice, because he shows you what is happening even in our reporting, right? The fact that some people they associate those kind of fights with Africans and Middle East to a point of reporting it that way, to say, but these countries are European countries, they're not some third world countries, which means these fights, they are well suited for those third world countries, each whole countries, as some presidents would want to say. Right? And it was said, man. It was said that you might think that, okay, you are probably part of the global village and you would be treated as such, but you're not. At the core of it, when all is said and done, you definitely are not, man. And you know this because every single time when things happen, when things have to happen, you will not be at the forefront of the line. The next thing, we're going to be asked to bring soldiers to come and fight for this or that camp. But nobody appreciates what we have to offer. Nobody puts us anywhere in the ranking, right? We just, as an African continent, that all these other countries and continents go to get mineral resources from, and they leave us like that. And an African child probably, and look, it has no race in it, but I'm talking continent. I think an African child needs to wake up and realize that as Africa, we are on our own at some point. We have to do things for ourselves and stop relying on others, right? I yearn for the day where Africa starts trading amongst itself, growing our economy, growing our stability. And when you go into history, you know that Africa has had some of the richest people. In fact, I read somewhere where they said there's a gentleman who was called Mensa Musa. Mensa Musa had so much money that nobody has made that kind of money to this day. So, which means it's possible. Which means we have the capability of becoming richer in any way, in any sense. And it doesn't matter what platform, right? But I hope that with this Russia-Ukraine conflict, we definitely see this one out as Africa as a whole. Because it's got nothing to do with us at the moment. I know I saw somewhere where they said Russia, they cut the pipeline that transports gas to Germany, I think, and that contributes about 50% of gas that's transported there. and it's getting real for the European countries, because all these sanctions that are coming from left to right, from right to left, it's just becoming a lot. And I don't think Africa must involve itself there. We have got enough to deal with here in Africa. We've got Zimbabwe's elections coming up. Perhaps we can focus our attention on that. We've got a whole host. We've got infights in your Cameroons, in Nigeria. We should be focusing on that and let the Europeans deal with their own things, right? Yes, I kind of like what President Jacob Zuma said, to say we want peace in Ukraine and Russia, that conflict to stop. Can they just engage? I think we should leave it at that. Let's not choose a side. Let's not take so-and-so side. If there's anyone who has a view about this team and that team, or this camp and that camp, of the leaders, I think they must just keep it here, keep it shut, because we really don't want to get involved when it's our thing here. It's the third world problem. That for me, it got to me. I don't want to lie. To think that even in the news reporting, we are referred to as some third world country that is deserving of having those things. Those fights are good for us, I even saw somewhere when Trevor Noah was breaking down his reporting there, where this person says, these people look like they could be our neighbors, which means if you are black like me, you don't look like you could be their neighbors. You have to have gang money to be their neighbors, and you perhaps have to speak like them. You can't just be a normal African and be their neighbor, no. And we have it here in locally as well. We've got it in the country as well. But for me, I just think that we have to sit this one out. We have to keep it shut. I know that DA here in SA, they've been saying that the president must choose a side, the president must speak, and so forth and so forth. I don't think we must jump up and down because it's European countries. It's been happening in Africa. We've not said anything. And DA didn't even say that they must say something or whatever the case. No. Now that it's Europeans, we must jump up and down. No. They must handle their own thing. They must do their own thing. They are well capable of dealing with this thing. If they can't, European Union must get involved, or the other parties, other parties of the world leaders must get involved, but not Africa. Africa must deal with the African issues. We still have a lot of issues. We are a third world country, guys, or continent. So let's deal with our third world continent issues, and then leave the first world issues, because we don't know anything about. Yes, we're not that advanced anyway, right? But I don't want to lie to you. That statement got to me. It just made me think, man, to say, actually, world wars were never about Africans. They didn't have anything to do with Africans, and we're still that world. Is it because we don't know how to fight, or we don't want to fight, or we prefer to speak before we can get to the level of fighting? Because you see, you must have what Juju always calls superior logic, right? We must be able to exhaust talking first before we can even get, or we can descend to hands or to arms, as it were. And I feel like some parts of the world suffer from that. They are not able to have a conversation. Why? Because they've got thuggish mentalities. And as Africans, I don't think we do have that. We want to talk, and we should carry on talking and deal with things in a manner of talking. But I really did get a little bit annoyed with that. it was not a nice thing to experience, to know that this thing is well suited for your part of the world, not this part of the world. And when it happens in this part of the world, which is a first class part of the world, then it has to be labeled as barbaric. I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, man, it's just me. Yes, we do hope and pray that the conflicts end. They speak about it, they deal with it, and they come to a conclusion of some sort. But yeah, not us. I don't think Africa must get involved. They must deal with their own things, and then they must leave us alone. We're a third world. Yeah, that really got to me, man. I really got annoyed with that. That's part of the statement, to say these issues they're supposed to be happening in Africa, in the Middle East. Yeah, it's not nice. It's not nice. And the fact that you witnessing these things, that means you don't have any positive view except, yeah, it suits them. They must just carry on, do what they do. They're monkeys anyway. Yeah, it was heartbreaking. It was very much heartbreaking, but yeah, I suppose this is what we live with. This is our world. We just have to know that as Africans, we're at the bottom of the barrel, and that's how it's gonna be for the longest of times. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you watched to this level, really appreciate you watching. May you please subscribe if you feel that this is a content that would be for you. Subscribe, hit a like, share with your friends, family, hit the notification bell so that you may be notified every time when I post the videos. I really appreciate you, man. And yeah, man, this is my cue. I gotta bounce. I gotta be out of here, man. Mr. V,